going on, guys? ¿Cómo están? BugaLuis here, and welcome back to another episode here on the channel. Today we're gonna take a look at Transfer Daily. Yes, another video from Transfer Daily, and we have a very big denial from Antonio Conte saying that David Luiz is not going anywhere. Quite surprising if you ask me. Just like always, guys, please remember to drop us a like, leave us a subscribe. Remember, it's free of charge, and I know you will enjoy staying up this channel. We got so many content coming your way, so stay tuned for more. The first story is going to be a confirmed transfer, and that's that Terence Congolo from Monaco will be joining Huddersfield in a season-long loan, or for the remaining of the season. I think that's the better description of that. He will be staying until the end of the season with Huddersfield. He's a very good, promising left back. I gotta say, he's quite tall, 6 foot 2 inches, and he's also very fast. He perhaps not the best dribbler, but he's a very good physical player and presence for the Huddersfield defense, both able to play as a left back and a center back. I think he's going to be a very good addition to David's Wagner side, and hopefully it would help Huddersfield to solidify that defense and to keep them in the Premier League. But now to the biggest story of the episode. We got David Luiz not moving anywhere apparently. Antonio Conte has said that he's able to put that all struggle behind, all those different fights and clashes that has been going on in the media between him and David Luiz, to put all of that behind and start a new fresh new moment in Chelsea, because he wants to stay with the player, and I cannot deny that. I think that David Luiz is a very talented player, and even though you may be staying in some fights, he may have realized from the previous incident with Diego Costa that perhaps it's not the best to get in a complete fight and in denial with your player. So with that being said, I think Antonio Conte is doing the right move. Moreover, I would say that I've been reading a lot of stories of David Luiz, and it seems that perhaps not too many teams want this player. And it's quite, I really understand this as well. He's a 30-year-old center back, and perhaps he has a lot of, incidents off the pitch, and that could really hinder his performances at a club. That's why perhaps clubs like Arsenal have already rejected the possibility of signing David Luiz, and other sides like Real Madrid and Barcelona are definitely not interested. All of the top European clubs, I think, have enough good defenders so they can avoid a player like David Luiz. And for me, David Luiz really should try and stay at Chelsea, because his performances before were really good. He now needs to try and put all of that behind him, because I think his best performances and his best games to come are yet in a blue shirt here at Chelsea. Moving on now to Italy, we go to Napoli, which apparently Napoli wants to sign Alejandro Grimaldo from Benfica. Apparently the fee is around 30 million euros, which is actually a quite good fee for one of the most promising left backs in the world of football. The problem with this is that they already have Faouzi Ghoulam in the side. Faouzi Ghoulam is a very good left back in my opinion. He perhaps doesn't fit the best style of Sarri's philosophy, that turning to attacking football and needing the wing backs to overlap. He perhaps not the best in that because he's not the fastest. But yet Alejandro Grimaldo is really good at that. Coming from the Barcelona academy and joining Benfica in 2015, Alejandro Grimaldo is amazing at doing all of that, because Sarri's philosophy is very similar to Barcelona. So it seems that Alejandro Grimaldo would already fit very nicely into the squad, and it's a no-brainer to try and sign him. Yet I think this move will be quite surprising, because 30 million for a bid for Alejandro Grimaldo is quite low actually. I would say that Benfica should try and demand a little bit more, just that little bit extra, because he's a really good player. There are not too many good left backs or promising left backs coming through in the world right now. You perhaps could name 5 of them that are attainable. And with that being said, I would say that Alejandro Grimaldo is probably up there in that list. So it would be quite interesting to see if this move actually happens and what happens to Ghoulam. And the second story is exactly to that. Apparently Ghoulam is ready to join Manchester United. I don't know what's going on with the media, but every single time there's a player leaving from a club, they're always linked to Manchester United. And for me, that's quite surprising. However, this makes quite a little bit of sense. Apparently Ghoulam release clause is around 60 million, or is not 60 million, but Napoli, for that amount of money, will be quite happy to resign the contract and let Ghoulam join Manchester United. So on the one hand, this transfer will demand a lot of paperwork, but on the other, Manchester United really need a left back. I mean, they have Luke Shaw, which is probably going to leave in this January transfer window. They got Ashley Young, which isn't getting any younger. They got Darmian, which probably some people don't like. I think he's good, but perhaps not as good to be in a team like Manchester United. And then you got players like, who else am I missing? Daley Blind, who hasn't been performing as lately of his last performances last season. So you really could incorporate Ghoulam into this side. I think he will get good enough playing time and could fit the style that Mourinho likes to play, because he's a tall, perhaps not as fast, but very good dribbler of the ball, good passer, and just a good presence in the back four. I think he will be a very good addition for Manchester United, and I think he will be welcomed by many of United fans. However, the thing is whether it's true or not. I think that sometimes the link to Manchester United clubs are quite without evidence. It are quite, bland, and it's all about that. Whether this transfer is going to happen, then I think it could be lower in the bullshit meter, because really I don't see Ghoulam joining United unless Grimaldo joins Napoli this January. And for the final story of this episode, we have both Milan clubs, Inter Milan and AC Milan, battling out for the signing of a Barcelona player for a season-long loan, and that is Gerard Deulofeu. Apparently, Gerard Deulofeu will be one of the players to leave Barcelona in this mass exodus that it's perhaps going to happen in January. And actually, as a Barcelona fan, I wouldn't be quite in disagreement with this one. Yet I think Deulofeu needs a lot of confidence to come back into the side. I really would like Deulofeu in Barcelona squad. I think Deulofeu is a very good and promising player. He has a lot of attributes, but yet his confidence seems shattered every time he enters the pitch. The last time he played was against Valencia in that 1-1 draw, and it was quite underwhelming to see Deulofeu coming in, because he was all over the pitch. I don't mean all over the pitch positively, he was negatively all over the pitch. He didn't know what to do, and that's quite worrying for a player that has been growing into the Barcelona way and style for many years in the Barcelona academy, then coming to the side, going on loan, and then coming back. It's quite surprising he's not yet adjusted to this new formation, to play with the players around him. He seems quite lost and quite isolated every time you look him at the pitch. He's not doing exactly what he needs to do. He's a very good defender coming back, but yet when he comes and plays, he really doesn't try and win the ball on one-on-one. He really lacks to dribble. He doesn't like to go past players, and it's quite underwhelming and quite negatively to see a player like this being wasted in a club like Barcelona. So I would say that he should go on a loan, perhaps to one of the Milan clubs. I think it's quite reliable this. It's possible going to happen because we've already talked, Valverde have already talked about Deulofeu leaving the club. And I see the interest from AC Milan from the previous season, and Inter Milan after the performances of someone like perhaps Candreva not being as good as this season. Deulofeu could incorporate into the squad, because let's remember he's a very good player coming back. So coming into the right midfield position in Inter could also work. And I think that Deulofeu is a very good player and could leave for the season. Yet, however, the transfer news is talking about a 2-year loan spell, or perhaps even a full year. I think he should go for the rest of the season now. And if you really doesn't come back for the start of the preseason tournament and doesn't work well, then you sell him. But now Deulofeu has a chance to prove himself at Barcelona, because we're now going to play the Copa del Rey round of 16. Round of 16, I think, against Celta de Vigo. So those two matches are going to be very important for Deulofeu to prove his worth. So if he really wants to stay at a Barcelona shirt and really wants to wear that badge on his chest, then he needs to perform well in Celta de Vigo. If not, I will be happy if he would also leave to Inter Milan and AC Milan, because I think are two clubs that will take advantage of the situation of Deulofeu. That's gonna be everything for today, guys. Just like always, remember to drop us a like, leave us a subscribe, turn on the bell notification icon, and follow us on all other social media to keep up to date. Make sure to make this channel a part of your daily routine. I've been your host for the day. See you in the next one. Take care. Ciao.